Hello, this is Mike at Humble Running here. Another rainy day in the valley, as you can see. I'm gonna stay off the trails, run up the dirt road here that I train a lot on in this type of weather. I'm going to test Skratch super high carb fueling today. I've got the 100-gram mix, but I lowered the dosage a little because I'm not going super hard today. I did a treadmill workout yesterday at home. So this is kind of just a volume day. I'm gonna try to hit 2 hours. I've got 2 bottles. I mixed it down a little. I put 5 scoops, is about 70 grams of carbs per 16-ounce bottle. So I've got 1 bottle with me. I'm gonna try to run about an hour, come back to the car, grab my second bottle, and then continue on for the second hour. So I'll see how that feels at 70 grams per hour. It's a lemon lime mix. I've had it once before in a sample pack, I think maybe at the full 100-gram dosage, and I didn't have any problems. So I'll see how this lower dosage works out. Not much more to say right now. I should probably get going before I just get soaked standing here. I'm gonna do my best to manage the audio on this one. Got my vest under my rain jacket here, microphone in there, a lot of kind of flappy things going on. We'll see. So I've never been a fan of strictly liquid calories and liquid fueling. I typically just go with gels, and I'll go with like a regular kind of drink mix and just factor those carbs into what I'm taking. I tried Tailwind years ago, and it just seemed like at the time that's a whole lot of volume of liquid to be taking in to reach a set number of calories or carbs. But perhaps with my sweat testing, I've been coming around a little bit with the idea that I probably should be drinking a lot more, hydrating a lot more. And maybe there's a time to really look into whether I can increase the amount of carbs I'm getting from those liquid calories. The problem for me has kind of been twofold. First, that volume of fluid, which maybe I just wasn't used to or haven't really tried expanding how much I could be taking in. And also the sweetness and sugariness of a lot of the drink mixes. Don't really like. Before the Skratch testing, been primarily using Precision Hydration. I like their stuff because the flavoring is kind of neutral. Gels, and even I like to use their packets because they're great during races. The 1,000 and 1,500 packets. I feel like I can just drink those because they're not super sweet. But again, not a lot of carbs in those. I think they range anywhere from 17 to 20 per each of those packets. The one thing that stood out right off the bat, not with this high carb mix that I have today, but Skratch's regular hydration mix, they use real fruit flavoring. I mean, that's what it says on the pack. I feel like I can really taste the difference. It doesn't have that sticky, sugary, kind of syrupy taste that you get from a lot of, I guess, unnatural added sugars. They say it has a milder flavoring taste, and I really do notice that. And I think that's a big part of it in being able to drink that much. When I get that sticky feeling in my mouth, and maybe that kind of like buildup of saliva in your throat and stuff, it's just kind of like I don't want to put more of that drink mix in my mouth once I start getting that feeling. So about 15 minutes in now, I'm gonna get to this little rise here, flatter area, take my first drink. I have the vest underneath, so I have to kind of shimmy the bottle from under my jacket. I am wearing the Ultraspire Basham vest though for this reason, because the bottle's sideways on my lower back, so I could easily get it in and out. There we go. Holding camera in one hand. That'd obviously go easier if I could use my left hand to hold up my jacket. So first sip there, I didn't actually remember how unsweet it is. No, I don't know, it's kind of like zero sugary taste at all. Yeah, just no sweetness. Definitely a limey taste. I guess they add that in there. Otherwise, it may feel like you're drinking kind of, I don't know, bath water or something, or lukewarm. I don't know what. Yeah, definitely, it's lemon lime flavor. A little citrusy. Not too bad, but zero sweetness at all. Very interesting. The sodium content is in line with their regular hydration mix if you mix to the full amount. So that's 7 scoops, 100 grams of carbs, you'll get 400 milligrams of sodium. And that's what you'll get from their regular drink mix, sport hydration mix. You'll get 400. Not as much carbs, but more added sugar. So, and definitely a light sweetness, more than this one, but not that kind of artificial sugariness or sweetness that I was talking about earlier. So after taking these Agravic 3s out for the first time in a while the other day, and running down that hill pretty fast, I thought, well, I should really start taking these out more for training runs, especially kind of easy volume days, especially going up and down this hill like this. The fit just works really well for me. The forefoot is roomy, and I could really dial in the midfoot. So even now, going uphill, I feel super snug at the midfoot, but no squeezing at all at the forefoot, which can be problematic in a lot of shoes. You know, when you're going uphill, you generally want to relax the fit, relax the lacing a bit. I guess when you're climbing, your forefoot probably is on the ground more, spreading out more pressure kind of laterally in the toe box. And these, I feel like, really allow that, while at the same time having the midfoot and the ankle really snug, which is what you want when I turn around and go back down this hill. So when you go back downhill, obviously you want to have everything super dialed. Generally don't get as much or any forefoot squeezing with a narrower shoe when you're going downhill as opposed to up. So a lot of people kind of tighten up the laces before a long descent. With this shoe is great. I don't have to do that. I'm already dialed in, and the forefoot already feels comfortable, so I don't have to play with anything. Just lace them, go up and down and up and down, keep going, don't even worry about it. So yeah, I'm trying to time out kind of an hour round trip to the car at the bottom, so maybe 35 minutes or so up on the hill. I may have to kind of zigzag up and down depending on how much snow is up here and how much I feel like slogging through. But maybe another 10 minutes up, then head down, and then I'll get that full first bottle in during the first round, and then head up and down for another hour with the second bottle. So that'll be 70 on the first round, again 70 on the second. So 140 total for nice aerobic training run. Not high carb by any means, but you know, that's an amount that I was probably racing at. Probably racing less than that, only just a few years ago. So things have changed. Getting a little soft and soggy up here. Losing a bit on my stride power watts, but that's okay. Really aiming for time here, and again, the hydration and fueling testing. One thing I do though is, if I'm in very soft or technical terrain, I'll just up my TSS number in training peaks by say 5, 10, 15, even 20% to more accurately get a good training score if the ground is overly soft or overly technical. Just keep the wattage numbers in line, so the kind of scoring for every particular run is somewhat consistent. At 34 now, probably hit the top of that rise over there. Turn around, might end up a bit over an hour, but that's okay. Here, go a little over. Drink a little bit more of my fluids from the second bottle right away if this first round goes a little long. I just want to keep it consistent just for the testing aspect. I see a bunch of snow and slush right in the next section there, so good spot to turn around. So I did an eccentric downhill focus the other day when I took these shoes out. Being that I did my workout yesterday, I wasn't planning on doing that today, but the ground is very soft. I think I could just let my legs go and it won't make too much of a difference. But one thing I always wondered about, when people talk about downhill stimulus, running hard, conditioning the legs, and then I see people kind of doing that in super shoes, and I always wonder, like, well, if you're wearing a super soft shoe, I don't know, aren't you taking away or blunting some of the stimulus? I don't know. There's probably a cost-benefit analysis in terms of, you know, not damaging not just the muscles but joints and tendons and everything by wearing a super shoe. So that's a factor. But yeah, if you're gonna work on the eccentric part, I would think you would want to go firmer and transmit more of that impact into the muscles. But I don't know, maybe it's good enough to run at that grade as opposed to the sheer force on the muscles. I don't know, just wondering. So I am doing about 620 per mile here. I'm not actively trying to propel myself forward. Just letting the legs turn over. I am trying to make sure I lean forward though and not land as much on my heels. So that should transmit some more force into the quads, which helps eccentrically. This is probably a run I should be doing more often, in the sense that I'm running loops, basically going up and down and then going out and doing the same loop again. I know everybody loves to get one big scenic adventure loop with no repeats and all that, but it's really hard if you're trying to hydrate and fuel properly, which I'm really trying to work on. Where I am in the summertime, there's no water around here at all, so you gotta either run pretty far to find water, carry a lot of water, or just kind of let yourself run dry a bit at the end, which is not what you want to be doing and not what I want to be doing if I want to get better. Sometimes training just has to be training, I guess. So I've got like a few sips left in this bottle. I'm coming on 50 minutes. Should be down around 10 minutes. So I'll finish that off. Don't feel any sloshing. Only 16 ounces in an hour. I don't have my hydration sensor on. Just trying to get out here and focus on one thing at a time today. I know probably in the range of, I don't know, 20 plus at least for this type of run. Again, you don't want to replace all of that either, so probably right about on target at 16 here. If I was pushing a harder effort, doing some race type testing, then I would want to bring more. But this is my first test run with that high carb, so just trying to get a feel for it at 70 grams. Next one I'll probably do the full strength, 100 grams per. I don't know, see how this goes after 2 hours. Maybe 16, maybe 20 ounces. We'll see. Coming down to the bottom here, hitting 58 minutes. Gonna be right on target. I did not pre-plan this, just good timing. There's a truck right there. So 1 hour on the nose, 1,328 feet of gain in a little under, just under 7 miles, about 8:30 pace. So I finished it right there as I was coming down that last section there. This easy peasy. Patagonia Storm Racer jacket, by the way. Easy swap there. This is like an aid station here. I'm in and out. Lock the car. Check the elapsed time on that. I think that was pretty quick. On the way. Lap 2. 70 more grams of Skratch super high carb in the clip here. So you may wonder, is it worthwhile, or what's the point of testing super high carb below the kind of super high carb, or at least high carb dosage? Well, if I go 100 grams per bottle out the box and I'm barfing over here, that's not an effective test. So I'm starting with 70 and I will test 100. I'm not really a barfer though. I actually can't ever remember barfing in a race. maybe I'm not eating or drinking enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the podcast on for the rest of this loop. If anything goes sideways, I'll check back in along the way. Otherwise, I'll see you at the end for the recap. 70 more grams on the way. Approaching my turnaround here, coming up on 34 minutes, roughly the same time. Feeling okay. Been drinking regularly, same amounts pretty much. Actually, I am drinking a bit more here, but I do have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna stop our bathroom break up here. Not sure if that's just from taking straight liquid with no, I mean, not that gels are solid, but I don't think I drank too much before this run. Definitely had a light lunch. Maybe I did drink a little bit too much. I was drinking coffee earlier. I was working on some stuff around the house. Yeah, just past 36. Second time up. I think I was over 36 the last loop. I wasn't checking it all on the way up. Within 10 minutes from the bottom now. I actually finished my second bottle around 1:45. I did start drinking earlier on the second loop, of course, because I had already been running for an hour. So I'm definitely well north of 70 grams an hour. Can't really do that math right now, but maybe 80 plus. Trying to keep that forward lane here at 5:30 per mile. So 2 hours and 30 seconds there. Back at the truck. Within probably, let's see, 6:12, probably within 10 or 20 seconds from one loop to another. 2 separate 1 hour loops within 10 seconds without really trying. That's pretty good, pretty steady for me. All right, so I'm back at the truck now. Gonna make this a little bit short because I didn't actually bring anything else to drink. I'm only a couple minutes from home actually, so not a big deal. I didn't bring anything else to drink because I didn't really think I would finish all that so easily. Yeah, I finished the second bottle at 1:45. That's 32 ounces, or actually maybe around 34 within 2 hours. And I definitely could have had some more. 0 sloshing, so that's something that's pretty interesting. Normally, it's raining, of course. It's 45 degrees, not too hot. I don't think I'm sweating heavily. I'm wearing this rain jacket, so maybe I'm sweating a bit much. But 0 stomach sloshing throughout, even at the end after having the full 2 bottles in me before 2 hours. Normally, sorry to admit that I don't drink that much, which is a problem for me. The fact that I could easily have that without having any sloshing at all is very promising. Definitely want to try to push that, maybe in terms of the carbs, a few more scoops in there next time, and also probably a bit more liquid. The fact that I had no sloshing with that volume of liquid, which is higher for me, probably indicates that whatever that carb is, the cluster dextrin or whatever, is getting absorbed easily and not sitting around in my stomach sloshing around. Pretty good run, pretty solid test run. 2 hours up and down. It's also good. I didn't mention this earlier, aside from the fueling aspect, being able to resupply at a base here. I live in the foothills, so typically when I go out on a big long run, I'm generally going up the whole first half, and then the second half you kind of end up mostly going down, so you get in this habit of kind of having the second half, or at least the end, be more easy in terms of effort, and you don't really get that switching between being easy and then going back up again. So this is probably the kind of training loop I should really be doing more often, for the fueling, of course, and for that aspect I was just talking about, going up and down and switching back and forth. Definitely mentally being at the car and then going back up, that's always hard. Yeah, so I like the Skratch super high carb. More testing to come, stay tuned. I definitely touched on a few other topics. I mean, once I have my camera with me and I'm going, whatever pops into my head, I just kind of talk it out. So hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. Thank you for watching.